We also won't take it down even if it would otherwise conflict with some of our standards.
So that's part of the problem, isn't it? I mean, well, there's a couple problems here. It's Facebook's standards. Satan's standards really is more, closer to the truth there. But that said, all of these platforms violated the First Amendment because big tech thinks they can do whatever they want. So the reason Eric Schmidt, and he's not the only one, let's be clear, he's not the only morally misguided megalomaniac, okay? Not the only one. But this is why they figure, well, no, you could just, we're pressuring you to do it, the government. But Mark Zuckerberg is showing how morally bankrupt he is. First of all, I don't buy for a minute that he didn't have a vested interest in pushing a certain political side. He interfered with the 2020 election. You know what really just annoys me so much? I mean, so many things do when it comes to the political area. But is that our Constitution, the Pilgrims, the 1776 founders, these people came along before any of you experts, and you are not experts. But somehow those people, it's amazing that they knew that people like Mark Zuckerberg, like big tech, like your far left faction liberals that are out of their mind with their diversity, equity, and inclusion, that they knew these people would come along. They knew they would. Think about it. Way back then when they didn't have anything close to our technology that we have today, but they knew it would come along. They knew it would come along, and that they would just tell the American people, we're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry that we really couldn't know how to do the right thing, or we're sorry that we couldn't protect what you value in this country, like free speech. We're sorry. We were born here, but we certainly never aged to a place where we had a moral compass, where we could morally do the right thing, or where we could have the strength enough to stand up and say to the government, no, I won't go along with you because you're violating the Constitution itself. No, instead you caved. And you could say, well, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's a weak, puny little twit, and he is. Just is. But, I mean, because I know tons of people that were put in Facebook jail for sharing an opinion. That's what a little twit Mark Zuckerberg is. So I do not think that he would know how to man up even if he wanted to. Because Silicon Valley doesn't represent men. It represents destruction. It represents evilness. It does. They're too obsessed with themselves, their money, their innovation, and really they've ruined, I said yesterday, they've ruined innovation. They've ruined innovation. Big tech has ruined the everyday American in innovation. I mean, because if you come up with an idea and you share it on TikTok, Facebook, it doesn't matter. Well, big tech's, taking all of your data, so they'll just take it and it'll be then their innovation. It's not like these are bright people, okay? Not only not bright people, but morally bankrupt. Thinking that it's okay for them to come along and decide that we're going to police the American people and what they say. Which is why I don't want any of these people in charge of anything. And all I see is them, now that it's getting closer and closer to election time, they just want to try to, clean up their act. Okay, I would bet money Zuckerberg and his platform are still censoring people, because you know who they hurt the most? The people they hurt the most is the average Americans. TikTok does it, YouTube does it, Facebook does it, Instagram does it. They all do it. It's the average Americans they hurt. The politicians only care about censoring when they're being censored. They do. They could care less when it happens to you and me. And the people it's been happening the most to is the average Americans. When's the last time you heard any media people, alternative or otherwise, that has talked about just the average Americans and how many accounts they have lost? Because they share their opinion. Because they're exercising their right to free speech and saying what they believe. Zuckerberg is only trying to save his own skin. He's a little twit. He's not a man. And yes, I know in this politically correct world, I seem like, oh, I'm so mean. I'm just a mean person. No, I'm just calling it like I see it. A true man would have bucked the government and said, no, we live in this free system. And I nor anybody else should be deciding what content should be limited, shadow banned, removed. That's what a true American man would do. A true American man, too, would put the average American people in charge because, in my opinion, it's really only the average Americans that seem to know what is best. You really could say that it's the average man and woman that are experts. Yeah, average is expert.